How you doing? Milsurp Garage here. Did a little modification on my Finnish M39, and I usually don't do videos like this because I never really want to feature some kind of change or alteration that I made. This one happens to not be permanent, but some of them are permanent, and I never want to be responsible for telling somebody I did something and how awesome it is, and that they try it out and it doesn't work for them. Would make me feel bad. I mean, these modifications that you might do to these Milsurps are like a very personal thing. So I always kind of just feature the gun and then just leave it up to the shooter to make any modifications. But this one is so awesome, I just had to post a video on it. But I will put a disclaimer that, modify at your own risk, even though this one happens to not be permanent. But the front sight on the M39 is a very fat front sight, blade sight. Probably the fattest I've ever seen for a front blade. And the rear is this itty bitty little notch, right? So you wind up actually just stock the way it is. Your sight picture, the front blade is actually fatter than the rear notch. I mean, that alone is enough to just annoy the hell out of you. But to compound the problem, the rear the front sight, the front blade, is set at a certain height to allowing for the ammunition that the Finns used back then, which was different than this here, than the military surplus Russian bowl that we're all so fond of. So what winds up happening is that your shots are going to group high, and there's really no way with the rear sight notches to lower those groups down. You'd be able to raise them, but you wouldn't be able to lower it anymore. So you just kind of like, you'd either have to buy a taller front sight that the Finns had, possibly. I mean, I'm sure there's companies that have them, or maybe even, like I said, the surplus, the Finns might have had different size front sights. So you're going to be replacing the front sight anyway. But I found on a chat forum, it was a couple of years ago that I bought these. I think maybe might be a year ago, a year and a half ago. There's a guy, MG42. You know what? I don't really. If you do a Google search for M39 Peep sight, you'll see like one of the first two, or maybe the first two or three things that will pop up will be links to that thread. So I don't know if this guy still has them available or not, but his information's probably in those threads, and you can check it out. What he did was he machined a rear peep that is much better. See, it uses the original screws, and it screws on there, and it is much better, and it's a nice wide one too. It's just the right amount of sight picture through that to be able to pick out your target. You know what I mean? It's not such a tiny peep that you can't see anything. Like on the 1903 sight, that peep that's on there. I don't know who the hell they thought was going to be looking at that. I guess these 21-year-olds that they handed these guns to can see it, but I certainly can't. But this is just the perfect size peep sight, and the front blade is, whoa, there we are. It is thinner and taller. You see? So now, supposedly from what people are saying in the thread, from what I'm reading, is that now you're actually going to be a little bit low, which it's not much of a problem, because low is no problem, because you could notch up a couple of, you could ride up a couple of notches here on the, why is this not moving? That's interesting. Oh, there we go. It was caught on something. You could now ride up a couple of notches on the front sight, and you'd be able to be perfect. You'd actually have a little bit of room to play. You'd actually be able to go forward a little bit or back a little bit. Supposedly, some people say they're at the number 2 on, well, not even on the, sorry. Some people they say they're at number 2. Some people say they bring it up somewhere around 3, between 3 and 4, one guy said. But now this gives you room to play. Now you could actually, because this is a very precise, cool sight. It has these notches in the side where you don't just have to do 2 or 3. You could actually just go up a notch, go up another notch. See, that fits in each of those notches. So you could actually do like very precise adjustments. And you see it actually, it does have, you know, it will adjust like that. So so that's pretty cool. I mean, hopefully just putting it around here somewhere will be getting them perfect. And when you unscrew this and you screw it back in, I mean, of course it didn't fit, and I had to do some work to get it to fit into the sight blade perfectly. But you don't really have to change the windage adjustment to put it in. You just take this one screw out and put that one screw back in, and you're good. So hopefully it didn't mess up the sighting all that bad, and I won't have to go too crazy. What a beautiful sight picture now. Definitely a perfect sight picture. So if you're interested, like I said, pull up that chat thread to see if this guy's still selling them. But even just looking at how beautiful the sight picture looks right now, I'm very excited. Take it to the range and see how it does. But a precision rifle like this definitely deserves a much more precision sight such as this, in my opinion.